Good morning, passengers. This is your Captain Necrosama speaking, and you've tuned into a new episode of Top Flight Reads, our weekly YouTube series where we find graphic novels on the internet, read them back to you, give you our commentary, feedback, chit chat a little bit, do some voices, all that good stuff. Let's start with some introductions, starting with our co-captain to my left.
Good insert time of day here, passengers. This is TZA, the serious one speaking, known as your co-captain, making things happen. And today, for this flight, we are going to see FaLLeN Chapter 3, Poetry. Flight attendants, let them know who you be.
Hello there, it's your flight attendant Storm Rave, and I totally won't be sneaking snacks while we make our highest ascent. I advise you guys enjoy this week's flight.
Hello and welcome to the flight. I am your flight attendant, MEL, and regrettably, due to budget cuts in the snack department, today we will only have one saltine cracker. Fight over it or starve. Enjoy the flight.
As you may have noticed, we're currently missing an Akashic. He went rogue for the last couple of videos, but he should be back on the next one. His vacation should be done.
All right, let's take on that bulky seatbelt light. Sit down for this flight. And get ready to step into the Grand Tour. Grand Tour, Grand Tour. Step into the Grand Tour. Take off this dang plane. Next page.
Oh boy.
FaLLeN Chapter 3. Welcome to the Gnome.
Well, bang.
Main character John walking through the hallway, tip tap tipping.
With the creaking, here's some secret voices.
Footsie foots.
So you're alive.
3 more women dressed like me? Can they be trusted? Maybe this time I should relax and hear them out. I don't want to get kicked in the face again. No, never mind that plan. I can't relax like this.
Staring sound effects.
Let me guess. You don't know anything either.
I know my name, I guess.
Well, that's more than we know. 2 days ago, we woke up in this dusty old place wearing these gowns. No names, no memories, nothing. Creepy, right? Almost like a kidnapping. Except there's nobody around to make sure we stay put. So the 3 of us decided to check the place out. You know, that's when we found you. There you were, face down on a bed wrapped in stained sheets in a room that reeked blood.
Though we do not know the circumstances behind your injuries, they undoubtedly contributed to your delayed awakening, making you the last of us to become completely cognizant.
If I was the one who got hurt, who was the first one to wake up?
I was.
Poor thing's been through a lot, too. And then she walked in on me losing my temper. Alright, well, now's my chance to show her my softer side. Yo!
Don't!
While I was out cold, you all at least explored the place, right? You have to have found a door leading outside, yeah?
Of course we did.
Was it locked?
Only from the inside.
Okay, then. Why didn't you guys just run away?
Well, because what if? What if nobody is waiting for us to come home, for example?
You again?
Yes, me again. How lucky you are. Watch out for this one. She's a puker.
Hey, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
That you puke.
This brings the number of amnesiacs to 6. This can hardly be considered coincidental.
That's right, because she's behind this.
It wasn't me.
But you've seen who is, right? This Vox? This man behind the curtain or whoever?
Man, huh? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Trust me, some things you've got to see with your own eyes. That's a lesson I recently had to learn.
Liar, you know exactly.
No more fighting!
Womp.
But she's...
She's a victim, just like me. If you hadn't been there, we would have been killed for sure. And we're very grateful you beat those monsters, but you made that magical sword appear and...
Monsters. Magic.
No.
Well, we have got questions we want answered too.
Feel free to direct questions to me.
Who's there?
Something's on my leg! Eek! Get it off! Why?
Hello and welcome, Guardians.
That voice.
Oh my, it's a talking mouse.
I am not a mouse. My name is Vox, and I am the one who has gathered you all here.
Did you catch that, Big Red? The rat confesses to the kidnapping. Perhaps now you'll let me off the hook, hmm?
Ah, it's that man's voice. Now I remember. Back at that field, I heard a man speak to me with telepathy or something. And it was that voice in my head that somehow gave me a surge of power. It saved my life. That voice, it was you.
It wasn't telepathy. I used to reach you. I was speaking to you in much the same manner in which I am at this moment. I was by your side all along. I just don't stand out very much, I'm afraid.
Well, at any rate, thank you.
Seriously? When you thought I was behind everything, you didn't hesitate to wring my neck. But when it's the mouse, it's all best friends for life. Happy handshakes? Did I miss something?
You know, you're right. I really ought to apologize for all that. I lost my nerve earlier with you, so I'm sorry.
As if I just forgive and forget. And why so calm all of a sudden? Monsters and magic, talking rodents? This is like a really bad comic book or something.
I totally got a magical girls vibe just now.
A what? A what? No more fighting.
I don't know. It's just nice to know that Vox here is on our side, at least. And you know, he's the one who gave me the power to fight.
Not quite. That power was yours all along. Arma, Guardian of War.
Guardian of War. I think my brain just went numb.
Arma was able to know her identity because she was the first to awaken her abilities as a Guardian. You each have names according to your specific abilities, but unfortunately, I do not know who has what powers. Powers? If you wish to know your own identity, you must uncover it yourself by awakening your true forms in the line of duty. Okay, but what duty is that? Are we like someone's bodyguards, or...?
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Guys, we're talking to a dang on mouse.
There.
You are an elite private guard selected to serve the Eon Terra Maya. In some ways similar to what you might call a goddess. Eons can be regarded as personifications of this planet's natural life forces. Recently, however, dark creatures have sought to take Terra Maya's own life. We attempted to flee, but were assaulted again and again by these vile demons, and we became separated. Luckily, I had managed to persuade her just in time into summoning her legendary cohorts, Praetoria. That is to say, all of you.
Hey, Vox. What does this goddess person look like?
Look like? The mother appears to be a fair-skinned human girl, but despite her youthful appearance, she has actually been alive for over 1.2 billion years. She was quite beautiful, with doe-like eyes the color of earth, and seemingly endless locks of light, curly hair that cannot hide her radiant, albeit mischievous smile.
Ratpink traitor.
I knew it! The little munchkin really is the key to solving everything. But if she's the Eon, then someone is trying to hurt her.
I think I'll pass, thanks. God, a strange woman? Get a name? No way. I'm not risking my life for someone I don't even know, okay? I can't believe I wasted 3 days just for that. Farewell, my fellow amnesiacs. You girls have fun chasing after fairy tales, alright? I'll take my chances with the real world. At least until someone recognizes me. Ta-ta!
And what if nobody recognizes you? What do you plan to do then, pray tell? How far do you think you can get without money and clothing? Well, sure, try your luck. But for anyone else entertaining similar notions, I've got some rather despairing news for you. This is more an adoption than any kidnapping, and your only options are the ones I present you. For you see, in this world, there are no missing persons reports filed in your names. You have nothing. No families, no lives to return to. Everything you have is in this room. Dun, dun, dun.
Perfect.
Forgive me, but speaking truthfully, without Teramaya's assistance, you'll be unable to retrieve your memories.
I think we mostly get the circumstances, Vox, but more importantly, tell me what has to be done to protect Terra Maya.
Spoken like a true leader. I feel it. A great disturbance. I fear there isn't much time.
I think you're disturbed.
Arma, you have only just regained consciousness, but the enemy is on the move. Can I ask you to don the Guardian uniform and to once again engage them in battle?
Right now? I don't know. I mean, I don't remember how I got that sword the last time.
Shah.
Fear not. From now on, your guardian powers will manifest themselves naturally. However, I shall not send you out alone tonight. Given this is your first battle as a guardian, I will accompany you. Additionally, you two will join her.
No, wait, why me? I'm just a kid.
You two were the only witnesses to Arma's awakening. There's a greater chance that one of you will also...
No, please, no. I'm too scared. What if we all do?
You just leave it to me, kiddo. I'll protect you no matter what.
Okay.
You're a born leader, Arma. I can sense it.
No.
Yeah. Enough of this Big Bubba act. Let's get in the car and go already.
Car? Where we're going? We don't need cars. With that Back to the Future.
Krakatoa.
Krakatoa!
Okay, bye-bye.
And they're off.
Must find bathroom. Ugh.
Who will become the next girl to become a guardian? Have these girls had anything to eat or drink? Or better yet, a shower to wash off the filth? Catch the action. The bubbly, sudsy action. Next time in FaLLeN Chapter 4, Living After Midnight. All right, passengers, we have reached the required elevation of 34,000 feet. We're going to turn off that bulky seatbelt light, so you are free to search for the saltine cracker hidden in the cabin. The winner gets a light snack, so they starve that much less. Let's start the deliberation.
All right, passengers, so we've reached the end of the chapter. Let's get right into it. With our 3 sections, art, characters, and overall story. Seeing as this is the 3rd time we've read a chapter from the series, we don't really need to discuss art anymore, right?
Not
It's
for
still
this
good.
chapter. Not for this series, at least.
Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna skip that and go straight to section dos. That's 2 for you. All right, so section 2, characters. Anything new for Arma?
Apparently, she's the leader.
Not
Apparently,
really.
she's a seductress.
She just has
Why do you say
leadership
that, Emil?
qualities.
Well, since we don't know names, we're gonna have to go with what we've given them as names. But Sleeping Beauty was like sassing off at the mouth, and then Arma's just like, "Oh, I apologize. Like, you want to know what? We good." And then immediately like, "Blushies,
I
like."
think
I was about to say something, but
Hey, look, SB just wasn't expecting such a
Forward action,
forward apology, you might say.
maybe.
Yeah.
Or Arma's secretly a seductress.
Nah, because then it would have worked on everyone else at the table.
I mean,
I see Arma as the leader type, definitely. She's main character. Main character tends to end up being leader anyways. Trophy
you say that with such a drab tone.
maybe he feels drab about it.
It does happen a lot.
She's also got the red hair, so I wonder if one of the blue girls is going to be the ultimate foil. Probably
in
not.
all honesty,
Give her water.
in all honesty, well, I'm pretty sure Sleeping Beauty is going to be her opposite.
I know.
And those are the kind of characters I prefer being leaders anyways. She seems a little more... I'll talk more about that when we start talking about Sleeping Beauty. Anyone else have anything for Arma?
She cool. She's still cool. I like how one thing I like is how she just kind of like jumps into the whole assignment thing. Like she just kind of accepts it.
Has a pretty strong sense of duty, which in
Yeah.
this case is kind of tied to wanting to find out more about the world they're in through the little tiny lolly rat fink traitor child, who's apparently a goddess. I don't care what your status is. You're a tiny lolly rat fink traitor.
I mean, it
You
is
know what,
the
I-
only thing she has to grab onto. Sorry, Nico.
You know what I like about Arma?
What?
She is your red only, more or less, but she's not your typical dumb red only. They don't add that. Some people when they do red onlys, they make them a little dumb. In my opinion, like the Naruto's, the Luffy's.
Would you say that Arma's very smart? Or like just normal?
I would say she uses her instincts more than anything, but she's not like the just straight dumb. She at least has average intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of the girls seem like straight dumb at the moment, which is interesting to me. Like they're not going extremely tropey with their use of tropes. If that makes sense. It feels refreshing for me. You can use your instincts without being completely dumb.
One thing I like about Arma is that she's really brave. I stand that trait.
Should we move on to Sleeping Beauty?
Sure.
She is still best character.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Sleeping Beauty, in my opinion, I would prefer her. Not yet. Like she has leadership qualities, but at the same time, like she seems smarter. Like she's the type to read a situation.
You mean
Same.
more? Oh, sorry.
She's not that emotional leader type of person. Like people tend to, at least in manga anime, people tend to gravitate towards that emotional red oni type of character. Like they use their instincts instead of their wits, I guess. People tend to go towards them. Like people are already gravitating towards Arma. But I don't know. Sleeping Beauty, she seems like she would be like she thinks things through a little bit more. She has a personality issue problems. Like she's not nice, I feel
At
like
all.
she's the more strategic type of person. That's just the air I get from her.
Is she a soon, or do you think she's tsundere?
Dare.
Like she tries to pretend like she doesn't, but I think she like armor more than she lets off.
Okay, tree child.
No one else said anything about Sleeping Beauty.
I love Sleeping Beauty. She
No, we
got
know.
that.
You too.
She's
No,
entertaining.
you already did.
She entertaining as frick, dog.
All
Yeah,
right.
you said that last chapter too. She hasn't
You
really
like
progressed
Sleeping
much.
Beauty.
Hmm.
Although
That's
we
kind
do
of why
see,
I don't have anything to say.
no, we do see that she doesn't really have much tolerance for the, let's just say, illogical, much like the world that they found themselves in, which is apparently different from where they came from. So we know that there's been some kind of dimensional shift at play here,
Right. She's like,
and she picked up on that.
you just want me to fight for you without, and there's nothing in it for me except memories. No. Like, come on, really.
Also seems to have a reliance on like societal structures, as far as like trying to, expect that they would be missing, or that there be some sort of like report for these missing people. Until she got checked with that logic that doesn't exist where they are now. So it's like, yeah, a little bit more evidence toward the whole blue Oni-ish role compared to Arma.
Yeah. I can see her as the foil. She's that rival and the frenemy.
Yep.
Shall we head to the tree?
I mean, there ain't really too much more to talk about her, but
Right.
Must protect.
She had a little confidence boost for a second, right? Before it crashed back down. Yelling at Arma.
I mean, crying at Arma, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yo. Like,
Like, don't do it.
all right. 4 new characters this chapter. Let's start off with Emiel's character.
The
She didn't do
serious
much,
one.
in my opinion.
oh man, I wish I had her.
I tried to give her to you.
Look, there was absolutely zero way to know that before
Look,
coming into this.
I knew you should be her, and you gave her to me, so I'm the serious one.
When she looked on the cover, I thought to you that would want her. The look in her eyes.
No.
Nah,
Also, that look.
Also, where the heck she get the lip gloss?
because she that
It's
cold. What you
natural.
mean?
What do you mean that's
Natural.
natural? No, it ain't.
You can have naturally red
hey.
lip smell.
With that shimmer and shine, I don't think so.
Light
You
reflects
can
off
have
of
that
flesh,
shimmer.
Mel.
It doesn't for anybody else's flesh.
Yeah, well, they don't have
Well,
red lips.
she's special.
Yeah,
They ain't her.
All right.
Gotta
got
have
the
that
special
shine.
bob and the special little side sweepy bang thing, and I think that was a
That
special
Kaiba mole.
beauty mark too. Yeah,
No, she has a beauty mark under the eye.
yeah. See, she got the special stuff. She can have glossy, natural red rosy lips. She could do that.
She cool like that.
Yeah, because, see, no one else has it.
See, natural red lips.
Told you.
I don't think that's natural red lips. I think that's lip gloss.
Does
Alright,
it
From
matter,
where?
though?
No, they don't have anything except
That's why I'm
Does it matter?
confused.
Because there's
It
nothing.
does
That's
to
just her
me.
lips.
Does it matter though?
It mattered to me, Storm.
Storm,
got
this
the-
is like
She got the purty red lips.
this is honestly one of the only things we have about her character. We kind of have no choice but to debate this.
And she has to go to the bathroom.
Also, that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. You think
I
you
mean-
would ask a little mouse guy?
Nah, can't tell people. Saying out loud, "Oh, I gotta piss." What you sound like being a woman? That's just
You
that's just
don't-
not dignified.
Put it like that.
That's not dignified. Just saying that out loud. Yo, I gotta pee. I
You don't
gotta
gotta say
drop
it like
thinking
that.
liquid. That's
She
why
wasn't saying it out loud.
You
She was
just gotta-
thinking it.
Yeah, that's
No,
why
I
she
know.
thought it. She can't ask that out.
But I was.
What?
Then she's gonna pee her pants, which is gonna make it way more or less like ladylike.
No. See, this is an
Well-
aspect of her character. She sees that kind of thing as embarrassing to ask that out loud. So we know she has a little bit of properness to her.
Alrighty.
I guess. There's really not much to go off of aside from this.
Okay, see, let's move on to the light-haired chick.
She didn't really strike me like
She
as
also-
really
Go ahead,
much
Mel, sorry.
anything. Well, no, I was gonna say like she's out of the three, she doesn't really like. She's not as striking to me.
Striking as in what?
Like she didn't make an impression.
To me, out of the three, she actually made the biggest impression for me.
Yeah, but you were
Yeah.
voicing her.
In what way?
Not even just
No, I
look-
agree with Nico.
Why?
Like, okay, so Beauty Mark Girl, she had like one expositional line and just was more or less background. Tiza's character, I
We'll
really
get to
don't
her.
remember anything from her.
I do.
And then she had her moment where she was like, wait a second, we're talking to a dang on mouse. Just the way she talks to Arma, the body language. She did a freaking exposition dump as well. Starting there, okay, that's what I was looking for. Starting there, talking about the magic girls, and if you keep going, you'll see more of them just in the background whispering to each other. But just to me, like she was doing a lot in the background. Her and the Tiza's character were doing a lot in the background. To me, well, if everyone else was talking, they had little whispers, and she was looking at the mouse, not realizing that it was a mouse until later on.
Well, yeah, but like Tiza's character, his character stood out more to me than I guess your character because she's the only character that has done the teehee or anything like that besides Lolly Goddess. Plus, also she just
But
seems like a more giggly bob character.
So transitioning to her.
Sorry. Well, he was talking about both of them, so.
So moving on to the black-haired, hyperactive, knuckle-headed female number 3.
I'm gonna try not to comment too much on her because those types of characters are also some really good characters. I'm a sucker for the cheerful, goofy, bubbly characters.
So talk about her.
Like a lot of people, like I know Nico said there was a trope that he sees that's really common, that's refreshing. Like Nico said he feels refreshed when he sees main characters who are a little smarter than what's normally portrayed. I tend to like characters who are a little bit more cheerful because a lot of people like to write serious, stone-faced, or just, like basically they don't like they like to, people tend I tend to see a lot of characters that people don't, where the authors don't seem to have much fun with them. Characters like those who can get a few yucks out of me or the other readers every so often. I feel like they lighten the tone of the comic, especially if it's meant to be more serious. Comic relief.
Which made it all the more strange, where I kind of started her off with like a my impression from Avatar.
I know. I was like, I think you might be trying to go for gap moe or something. Like there was a definite gap between your voice and the character.
I don't know. Like by the time I saw that she was going to be like, oh, she's going to dial up the hype to like 11, it was too late. I already committed to like somewhat dull monotone. I have to stick with it now. And that's what I shall continue doing because it is such a great contrast.
You can't. We stop after chapter 3.
It'll get a few
Foolish fool in my head.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so Vox, what y'all think about Vox?
He has a name.
I think it's
And-
fun that he was coincidentally telling them he gave them information but didn't give them information, and he made them focus on them rather than him. So like we don't know where he comes from, why he's here. Like we know that he's here to like I guess be their guide for a bit, but we don't know anything about him or why he can talk and what makes him different than the other giant animals.
I could be
vibes.
I could be terribly wrong, but I feel like that mouse seems like a manipulator and a kidnapper.
I mean, you're not completely wrong in the fact that basically they like want to leave.
Hey, it's not
And-
kidnapping, it's adoption.
He gets like this. He
Bull
gets angry
crap.
at them and screams. And That
That's
is not what you
kidnapping.
say when you worry about someone.
That's literally kidnapping.
No, it's not. It's adoption. He says so right there on page 19.
I don't trust him
We don't.
at all. Also, that gem on his forehead, I don't trust you.
Look at that wholesome little adorable rat trustworthy face. He's way more trustworthy than that rat feet traitor goddess.
Yeah, I trust her a slight bit more than him.
You and
Well,
Miss R.
that's just because you ain't got the special eyes to see who's trustworthy.
Look,
You ain't
you leave
specialized.
my eyes alone. They have never been good, considering I have astigmatism. So
So do
you
I.
leave me alone. Then I don't know why you outed me.
Teaser, we don't give a frick how facetious you being are. That thing is a kidnapper and a manipulator. If you keeping people there or using some sort of aggressive means to intimidate people into staying somewhere where you're keeping them against their will, that is the definition of kidnapping. Again,
Two
we don't
problems
give
with that.
we don't
One,
give
he's
a
not
frick.
forcing them to stay there against their will.
But he's
They are
scared
there.
in there.
Intimidation is
Two,
a means.
he is
Intimidation.
not
Coercion is still.
he is not keeping them
That.
there. They can walk out at any time. It's just worthless because they have no identities where they are. It's right there on the page, 19.
He doesn't tell them they can leave, though.
Oh no, because the choice is already there. Sleeping Beauty already tried to do that, but he was like, yo, if you do that, you will have absolutely no help whatsoever because you basically don't exist. Spelled it out right there. I don't know what y'all talking about. You're
I guess
allowed
we're
to have that
probably
opinion,
supposed to. We're probably supposed to, but I don't.
which is fair.
Neither do I.
Well, that's great. Shut up.
Oh.
But no, really though,
Okay.
he is right there saying, yo, this ain't a kidnapping. That means he's trustworthy because it's not kidnapping.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
He just comes up to like some kids in a white van. He's like,
I'm adopting you.
yeah. And he's like, hey, I have candy. You can get in the van if you want some. Don't worry, I won't kidnap you.
Oh
And they
my
all get in the van.
gosh.
And then they're like, we weren't kidnapped. He gave us candy and said he wasn't kidnapping us. Like, he's trustworthy.
Yeah,
He
see,
said he was adopting us.
Except only one of them
is
seems to.
forcing them to get in the van. If they go there willingly, it's not kidnapping.
Oh my gosh. Mm-mm.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
So, section 3 now. We're going to talk about the story of chapter 3.
And what an exposition dump it was.
Yes, it was. It had 2 dumps in it. Other than that, other than the 2 exposition dumps we had, I enjoyed it, I guess.
Wait, what was the second one?
I'm counting the rat talking about the goddess and how they all got there as the second one.
So wait, what was
Just
the
basically, the rat talking was the second one, basically. For me,
And what
the
was
first one, I wouldn't even say exposition dump. It's more of my character and Chiza's character telling Arma about what happened,
Oh,
how they found her.
My
Info dump, I
character
guess.
helped slightly.
So basically, Sleeping Beauty wasn't sleeping at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He
My
was
character and
Storm.
MBL's character.
She said this back in chapter 2. You were literally there.
Well, no, Storm's referencing when she was like, you have to see it for yourselves. And that was a while back. And like you saw her like
Sitting there.
spread out behind a rock. Right here. The bag. And I was like, man, that is gotta be concerning.
She know how to survive. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay asleep, so because I don't know none of these people.
Oh wait, this was like fighting the giant lizard thing, right?
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Arma's fighting the lizard. Sleeping Beauty's like watching.
Okay, so she must have woke up between the flamingo and the lizard.
Well, that explains how she knew that Arma saved Tree Girl.
Yep.
Hmm.
I mean, she could have just told her, but now.
I like how it answered a lot of the questions.
I mean, there is
it
one
could-
question that wasn't answered though. Everybody said they woke up here. Like, Arma killed that thing, and then they all fall back asleep magically, and then they wake up here. Look,
Well, remember
I
the
don't know about
mouse
you,
was
but-
around them the entire time, so he might, and he has powerful magic. Like he just literally just teleported them at the end of the chapter, so maybe he
Right.
put them back to sleep.
Maybe the teleportation. Maybe they can't handle the teleportation process, and it knocks them out. Knocks
I
them
don't
unconscious.
trust that rat.
Neither do I, Mel. Neither do I.
Hater.
We ain't hater, dog.
We
We
hating
ain't
on the
haters.
traitor. Hater on
Like,
the
why
traitors,
did-
man.
Why did the goddess only show herself to Arma?
Because
Uh,
she's a rat fink traitor that can't be
Could-
trusted.
Because
I
she the
think-
real protagonist. Because Arma the real protagonist.
I guess maybe because she's the only one who had an awakening of sorts.
Yeah.
Well,
except-
she didn't awaken
She-
until afterward.
She
Maybe
showed
that's
herself
how
to
you
Arma.
awaken.
The goddess, the little tiny goddess showed herself to Arma well before she awakened her powers.
No, I know. Maybe that's part of her chain reaction to set it off.
You know what's funny? I'm starting to not trust the mouse either.
Good.
You know what's funny?
Huh.
What?
Remember, he was around Arma the entire time,
I know.
Yep.
and the goddess never showed herself to him.
Yeah.
Yep. Although both of their
See, it
voices
just
were
gets-
appearing in her
Yeah,
head
they-
at some point.
Dog, it just gets worse.
Look, you
Both
can't
of
trust
their
him.
voices were in Arma's head back in chapter 1.
And he references her, but she doesn't reference him.
Okay, to be fair, the tiny little rat fink lolly traitor goddess, she disappeared earlier in that chapter than when the additional rat voices were in her head.
Yeah, but she didn't say, I'm sending someone to help you.
Well, yeah, that's probably because she didn't.
That guy says he works for her, right?
He did not say that. He knows who
so-
she is, and
Wait.
Vox
No.
knows that the Guardians are representatives of, like, you know, some
Her.
Guardian type.
She chose him. Like.
Where does it
she-
say she chose Vox to do anything?
No, not him, them. She chose
Yeah.
them.
I know that part.
Which is why should I trust Vox at all?
Maybe because he's aware of this information?
That doesn't mean anything.
Because if she really chose them to do this, why didn't she talk to all 6 of them?
Once again, maybe it was a chain start. Maybe only
She-
Arma was close to getting the awakening, but I don't know. I'm not saying we should trust her. I'm just saying that we shouldn't trust the rat.
Look, man, he's the only one that's been upfront with them so far.
Sure. As he
Sneak around
intimidated
again.
and yelled at them.
I'm sure you've seen in stories where the suspicious character tells the protagonist just enough to get them to seem trustworthy, right?
Not even just that, but your argument where she only shows herself to Arma, he only showed himself to Arma in the beginning anyway.
He didn't. He voiced himself.
Right. But he didn't voice himself to anybody else. He only voiced it himself to Sleeping Beauty after Arma already had fallen asleep. And then she didn't tell anybody else that he was a mouse because she was like, you'll have to see it to believe.
If anything, you should be more suspicious of Sleeping Beauty then, because she knew the whole time.
Look, we could be suspicious of her too, but I'm still suspicious of this rat.
For what reason?
I have listed my reasons. We are moving on. Is 9/11. Let's go. Not
Rest in
the
peace.
date, the time. Sorry.
What happened? This chapter, it was a little. It didn't. It answered a few questions. I'm not a fan of info dumps
Why not?
or exposition dumps. But there's different ways you could explain some stuff. Sometimes, yeah, it's definitely necessary. Even if it's necessary, I still don't like it. Like, okay, yeah, he answered some questions, but you see that the little page Emiel is looking at right now, it's just 3 large blocks of text, and just
I like to spread it out over the chapter, and I also like to be very, very, very concise. So I agree with what you're saying. It's not that I think that info dump chapters are unnecessary. I just don't think that there should be like continuous pages with blocks of text. Like, just spread it out. That's all. Literally, that's all I would say. Just spread it out. So you don't have to read all of it at once. Just hurts my eyes to look at that.
What do you all think?
That this page makes sense for what it's doing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just said, me personally, I don't like it.
No, I mean, because the idea is that you're getting all this information while having these like visual set pieces about some of this new world that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that if they are going to info dump, that they would have something like this. So you have like a lot of cool things to look at. You have like the background, like this is like the Guardian versions of you, and then you have like
This is a
like
spread,
the
by the way.
goddess space. No, I know you have like the space like pay. Like,
Yeah.
it's if they're gonna do an info dump, I would like it at least to be on a page that's pretty to look at, rather than something that's not much. You know what I mean?
I can agree with that.
I didn't realize that it was a spread until like just now, which is weird.
You know what?
Oh,
I was
I'm
going to
sorry.
say
It is
I
a
w-
spread.
I was going to mention that, but I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
It's like, what
Did
are
I
those-
interrupt someone? I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but I noticed it too.
Alrighty. Anything else?
Regarding narrative, I mean, we ended on a interesting point. Not interesting and like intriguing, but interesting as in this is where we're stopping.
What do you
I
mean?
don't know. Like, go to the last page. Like, yeah,
Oh, the
it's the start.
teleportation?
Yeah, it's the start of them about to take off on a mission, but it's like, if I'm not mistaken, in like the page or two right before that, we barely got any idea about exactly what it is they're doing, or even
They're
some
guardians. They
idea
have
of
to protect the
where.
goddess.
So it's like, are they going straight to her? Are they going to some like random help, help? These thugs are beating me up on the planet or something. You know, it's like we're getting thrust into the unknown, but not in a way I normally like.
I'm gonna call some foreshadowing real quick, if it is what it is. So you remember the inside cover, right?
Uh-huh.
That reference to Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the rat is not who they think he is, basically.
Oh my gosh, we already said that, bro.
I mean, he's
Based off
adding
the-
to our point, so I'll allow it.
The more you think about it, the
adding
worse it gets.
I'm adding it. I'm adding the cover page into it. Stormred.
Yeah, no, he's adding it. I'll allow it.
Allow it.
Right.
Saying like, okay, we are saying like, yeah, we don't trust him. We don't think who he is. We don't think he is who he says he is. And then if you just add in the cover page with it, it's like, if it turns out he's actually not who he says he is, the hint was right there with the inside cover. That's what I'm saying.
To be fair, I don't think he said much about who he is himself.
Right. Well,
So
he just said,
is that
"Yeah,
really
protect
lying,
us."
though? He's not really obfuscating his identity. He's just talking about others' identities.
What they need to do. Like, it's your job to protect the goddess.
Yeah, see, he's just goal-oriented. Attention people riding on the plane that are not the captains or flight attendants. We are about to head into the descent for final thoughts. So, gonna take on that buckle your seatbelt light. I suggest you get in your seat before buckling seatbelts, otherwise it's worthless. So, let's get down into this overall analysis.
One thing I'm going to say off jump, I don't know why. Normally, I not really want to read series with cast full of like either gender or sex or whatever term you wish to use. Like, I normally like a healthy mix, but this one, it has 6 protagonists, all women, plus the goddess, and I'm not even going to gender the rat. Basically, no male human characters, and I'm not feeling like it's taken away from the story at all.
You know, I am just now. That just now dawned on me.
Oh my gosh, really?
I
Remember
have
who
a
we're dealing
horrible-
with.
I have probably the worst attention span of like ever.
What just dawned on you, that there's no male human characters?
Not a single one.
He's been so focused on the ladies. Like, and that isn't even like a dig at you. That's just like genuinely, you've just been so focused on like the story and the ladies that you never really, I think, thought about it.
Like, the way she's doing it, she's not doing it in that way, that on the nose way, like, yeah, this is all girls and girl power, and you're gonna love it. No, it's just a natural story, and they're not trying to push anything. Just like, what am I trying to like? Sometimes people just do it because they're trying to get maybe not exactly a reaction, but what's the word? It starts with a P. Is it a P? Pandering. She's not doing it in like a pandering way. She's just writing her story. If that makes sense to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The gender has no bearing on their personalities or anything that's really taking place.
Right? They're not being tropey. Like you don't have the at the moment it doesn't seem like you have like the dumb blonde or the overly
There's no
sexualized
blondes,
character.
but yeah.
But you know what I mean.
No, I know.
If
Doesn't
I'm
seem like
not
they have
mis-
tropey.
I was gonna say, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's an actual trope name Dumb Blonde, but something similar to it anyway. No, wait, yep, there it is. That is the exact name.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't think that's here yet.
It doesn't seem any really trope like. It doesn't seem tropey.
They're not
I
fitting
like it.
character archetypes.
Yeah.
Well-worn character archetypes.
The ones we've known, that we've experienced the most, mainly Arma and Sleeping Beauty, they especially do not seem to fit any category, I would say. So overall, that's something I really like about it.
I can always appreciate when a series makes fun of itself. On page 14, the like they have Sleeping Beauty call this like say, "Oh my gosh, why is it so calm all of a sudden? Monsters and magic, talking rodents. This is like a really bad comic book or something." And then Ice Blue says, "I totally got a magical girl vibe just now."
Just now.
I completely forgot about that. That's why Sleeping Beauty is best character. Get at him.
Man,
Oh my god.
Get at him.
Well, I appreciate when an author can do that. Like, it's really hard to put so much work into something. Like, as you guys have said, this came out in 2013 and it's still releasing, and it takes a long time for them to release chapters. And when they put so much work into this, like, it's really hard for you to say that it's like a really bad comic book or something. Like, so I can appreciate them for that alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also love the little floating dinosaur things above that on that page, because those are very cute.
I feel like this says
Oh yeah.
more about the world they came from, not
Oh, of
necessarily a
course.
like fourth wall aside, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know, like, saying that, like, this is like a bad comic book. Not like calling their own series like a bad comic book, but like they say it before someone else can say something. At least that's how I took it. Like, and I'm not saying this is bad at all, but I am saying to those who would say so, they've already said it in chapter 3. Like,
Yeah.
for those reasons.
The bee rabbit approach.
Monsters, magic, talking rodents.
They're calling out. They're calling out they're calling out their own trope.
Right.
All of the characters, each of them has a distinct personality, and that's, I don't know if anybody else mentioned it, but if you look at each and every single one of these girls, just in that picture on top, just in that panel on top of page 14, you can see, like, maybe it might just be me, but each and every character has like their own vibe, and I really dig that. So between that, the setup and the more or less, I guess, payoff in this chapter for the past 2 chapters, the layouts, the writing, the art, I'd continue reading this. 2 thumbs, way up.
Anyone else?
I feel like I don't get exactly what the light-haired, like color hair girl is supposed to represent. I can see the other 5.
What do you mean?
Still trying, like, as far as like what Storm was saying, like what her quote unquote vibe is supposed to be. We got the serious one in the corner. We got the scared little tiny frightened child. Arma's Arma. Long hair bubbly is long hair bubbly, and Sleeping Beauty is like the secret tsundere who's just like calling out the BS and everything. But number 6 still, I don't know. I'm not sure what mold she fits yet.
She's the chill one.
The chill one's on the right, left. Jeez.
Serious.
Reading direction.
There's a difference between the serious one and the chill one.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
We still
suppose.
But
But yeah, that aside, we're starting to get into the thick of things plot-wise. And everything that happened before now, I'd say it was overall worth it. To get to the start of where things actually start going down.
it's gonna be interesting to see how they use these 6 characters. For me, 6 characters on a single team is a large cast. I try not to go. I don't think I can go to 5 anymore. I try to keep mine at 4. But like the mouse, he's Mouse Rat, Wizard of Oz. He is taking 3 of them on a mission, so that halves the team. 3 people in a single chapter on a single mission, I think, could be a nice number to stomach. It's like not too many people to focus on in a single chapter. Like this one itself, it felt like some people faded to the background because it was literally 6 people. So it hurt some people's screen time. But with just the 3 characters, focusing on 3 characters, they'll each get a decent amount of screen time, I think, with the next chapter or the oncoming chapters. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It could have. I will agree that it does seem like an easy thing to mess up, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, I was like what they're doing at the end of the chapter. Like, let's use these 3 people and focus on them for the next couple of chapters, and maybe later on they're gonna switch to the other 3 characters or a different arrangement. Overall, I would keep reading. I think I will keep reading after this. MEL, Tiza.
Yeah, it was kind of mixed in with the ongoing analysis, but I'd said that everything leading up to this point was worth it to set up the actual start of the action that's going to be Chapter 4 onwards, I hope. Which I will find out right after this recording's over.
MEL, your turn.
Overall, like I said, they're doing really well. They're hitting the story beats. I can see that this is probably going to be pretty entertaining. I probably won't keep reading, but that's because of 1, it has a low frequency chapter drop rate, and I tend to binge read or binge watch things. So that's part 1. I would probably forget I was in the middle of it and then just kind of forget it exists until somebody reminded me that we recorded this video. And I'd be like, oh, really? And part 2, there are just like some little things that just make this kind of not my thing, though I can appreciate that it's a good story. It's just not my thing.
The wheels hit the ground. They spin round and round. Unbuckle your belts. Get off the plane.
Attention passengers, this is your Captain Necros Salma speaking, and we've reached the end of the chapter and the end of this series, or the end of us covering the series, because we've read the 3rd chapter. If you like this series, tell us about it. Leave a comment below. If you don't like anything we've said, leave a comment about it. We'll definitely respond to you. Again, this has been Top Flight Reads FaLLeN by Ogawa Burukku. Links in the description below will send you to where you can find the chapter. Say goodbye to the people.
This is your flight attendant Stormrave speaking. Please be sure to exit the vehicle single file and proceed to the infirmary for those of you who may have gotten into a plane brawl fighting over that one lone saltine. Thank you for choosing Top Flight, and we will see you fine folks next week. Ta-ta.
I hope you all had a wonderful flight. Please take care of yourselves and go get a well-deserved snack. Bye-bye.
All right. That's it. That's all. See y'all next week. If not, it's been nice.